Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I am going to be showing how to make a proper Signed Ike the Disaster model with rigging. I'm not going to be doing a crazy animation, just simple showing to make sure the animation works and how to animate. And yes. So before we start, I would like to say, I know it's actually taken me a very long time. Sorry. To come back. But, yeah, I'm just honestly been gone for a while, but coming back with a video to help because my other one went in just to modeling and didn't really show too crazy on rigging. So I will show how to make a custom model, but I also have my own custom model sitting inside the replicated storage so I can show you later what my own model kind of looks like. So, let's just start. So I'm not going to make a crazy model because in the last one I made Freddy Fazbear. Took me a while to make actually. But I'm just going to start simple with a blocky character. So let's just start with this. So of course, to make the model to start, you want to make it a certain height. So I would say this length is good right here and stuff. Now you would want to, sorry for the keyboard clicking and stuff. I don't have a proper setup right now, so I'm gonna have to deal with it. Also, if my microphone is too quiet or too loud, please say it in the comments so I can change stuff. Or if there's too much background audio. But yeah. Simply, the clicking is my mouse, sorry. But to start, if you would like, I will actually link my video in the description so you can go to my other video to show exactly in depth what I did for the model, but this is just a simple not too crazy thing. So if you're wondering how that was my phone, sorry. If you're wondering how to make it to where like you can cut parts off to make it actually look like a realistic foot, or to make parts that are round that aren't supposed to be round without going to the toolbox and getting stuff that's free model. So to make that yourself, you'd want to get a block, any size, negatate it. Because doing this will turn it into a color of kind of whatever it is. So let me simply lock it right here. Also make sure that if you have a negatated part, don't have it like this, because if you did it like this, let me show you. Union, you'll have a little edge, unless you want the edge there for whatever you're making. You can, I simply just undo it, but so this is what it should probably look like. Should be cut off smoothly and how I had it. Now, I'm not, like I said, I can't go too crazy in depth, but since I have a lot of stuff I want to get to, but I can make other videos or answer questions in the comments depending on what you're having problems with, so please feel free to comment down below. I will be reading comments frequently and, of course, look at the video and everything. So yeah. Like I said, sadly, I can't do much about the keyboard and mouse, so sorry again, but so this is just kind of a front of the foot. This isn't really realistic, it's more of going for a blocky foot. Oh, my mouse. I honestly, let me scoot the mouse a little bit further away. I just hear it in the microphone and So for the back of the foot, I usually do a little more round than the front. Like here, and then here I would do something like this. And intertwine with the other one like this. So they are kind of both connecting to help each other finish off the roundish edge. This one I want to be flat and head to about there. Push it a bit further. I want to go here. Make sure my edge is not too close. So there. And to finish off, I'll do one more to finish off up here. There. Now, if I put all the parts together, it will look something like this, which is not even, of course, because it's not a quick model. It looks kind of like a teardrop, but this is just simple. And if you don't want to have the foot do this, this is not actually a proper way to union stuff. It actually causes problems during animation. As you can see, the model is not straight like you'd like it. Let me actually fix that by doing this right here. You would want to click this first, because you could do this, I guess, yeah, and that unions it, but it's not proper. This is what you should do. You should click on the main part, and then hold shift, and click on all the other parts that are here. Or you can go into here manually, and click on the parts, and then union it. And as you can see, now, it's straight, left, right, up, down. Also, if you have a problem where this is happening, and you want it to be slow movements or whatever, hold shift and click X, and you can have this, which really helps with animations. But now that we have 2 feet, I will quickly make the legs. And if you don't want to actually watch the model process, there's timestamps for everything inside the video, so you could just quickly skip. Should be good. Make sure these are somewhat even. Now I would like to make the body. Make it about that. I've already done this in the other video, so if you've watched it or don't really care about this part, please skip it. I do not want to bore you with stuff that you do not need to know. This is simply just how to actually make the model. This big should work. If you would like, I can make a video on how to make better models. Because holy stuttering. This current model that I'm making is just a simple quick model. So it's not going to be anything crazy, unique, or anything that you're working on. This is just to teach you how to actually make the model and rig it and everything, not actually make it work properly. I actually did make a mistake with the legs, I just realized now. I'll fix it right after I add all 4 corners, so it's not just a block. Most videos on how to make a model is simple, but don't add the extra stuff for if it was a Sign the Disaster model. Now, I have been working on trying to make a game since 2020, and I was 10 back then. So I didn't really know how to code or anything. I still don't. I'm really bad at coding, but I've learned how to model, somewhat animate, rig, and stuff like that. So I hope this video will help you actually. Make sure you always click on the body first, but I hope this video will actually help you guys make a model. See? That actually doesn't look bad. Now it's uneven on the sides, but for our case, we don't need to fix that. So one thing you want to do with the legs or the arms, if you want to animate it and you don't want to just have it T-posing, please put it here. You can also put it here if you want more realistic. So snapping is good because it helps move to these parts, or not snapping, just moving to these parts, which make it even, helps with the whole process. And then what you want to do is go to parts, get a sphere, make it smaller, and move it to your part, which I would recommend not to do it this way by like manually moving it. I recommend use the arrows so it doesn't get turned or anything, but in my case these are just flat blocks, nothing too complicated, so it should just work. And it should look something like this. And after that, simply duplicate it and put it into the other part. These are uneven, but it's not going to matter too much. Okay, see how those are there? And you could also do 3 joints, so 1, 2, 3, but these are joints. These purpose is for when you're animating. When you turn a leg, there's not just open space. You can turn it and put it to this, will look like a joint. So it can actually turn during animating. I figured this off the TD models when I used to do all that stuff on creating. But now that that's there, it should look something like this. It should look like a one solid part, but it is 2. Same thing with the other one. There you go. And simply copy this. You can make shoulders too. Nothing is stopping you from making more unique custom parts like this video, which is just more quick parts. Now before you do the arms, do not do this right here. Put it higher so it could look more like a shoulder. Do not. So what I was going to say was that this one does not like need a joint. I would recommend to put one there. I'm going to do it now. But the legs don't need one if you add a hip. But in our case, we're going to need it because it's more of a simple model. You would like to put it here. And here. Then you would like to do it for the same for the arm. Move it over here. And this would allow it to act as a shoulder. This is kind of your elbow right here joint, and this is your shoulder joint. You can add more. For example, Sonic models, like actually TD, they usually use 3 arm pieces. So 1, 2, then 3. And then they have 1, 2, 3 joints, which is actually what my Naruto model currently uses. That's for my game. Now this isn't going to be exactly straight, but it's not like it matters too much. It's just simple modeling. There we go. Alright, now we gotta add a head. Alright. Let me make sure my audio is working one last time. Alright, yes. The audio is working. It is late at night for me, as you can see, the time. So I am trying to talk quietly so I don't wake anybody up. And I'm trying to, of course, be quiet. So here's a simple head. I am just going to use blocky for the head so I can get to the other parts. I don't want this video to be more than 30 to 20 minutes. Probably like 30. Because that would just be too long for what the video is. Okay. So if you're actually going to make a game, I would recommend it taking more time for the models. And yeah, but this is just what I'm going with. So let me add a hand, which can actually just be a block. If you're wondering how I'm getting all this stuff to pop up, the arrow keys, the select, without going up here, is I'm clicking 1, which is select, 2, which is move on my keyboard, 3, 4, and 5 on my keyboard. I never actually use transform, so you shouldn't have to. As you can see, it kind of just moves it without having to hold click. But I usually use the other ones. It's your choice what you want to use, whatever you prefer. But I use 3, which is scale, to do this, 4, which is rotate, to do this, 2, which is move. Select, you don't really need to use. It's just for separate selection. Transform you should never have to use, really, because the other things do it just fine. But there's a hand. Now let me duplicate it over. Here's a hand. Alright, there we go. So now that I have this, I want to do not yet turn it into a model. What you want to do is you want to go to, where is it? I've never actually done it this way. Right here, yeah. R6. It's under home, character. You should have this. R6, not R15. Do masculine and do a normal block avatar. So go under the rig, remove the animate, the humanoid, and the body colors. And then under the face, remove the face. So it looks like this. This is what you're looking for and what you need. So you want to drag this over to your model. This is for rigging purposes. And right here you would want to scale. And I would say this is good for the model. You want the head to be over your current head, the character's arms to be wider than this because the arms go out, and the feet to be either same size or the Roblox one a bit longer. This one should never be longer. Alright, now that I've done that, I can go to here and click ungroup. So they are separate parts now, as you can see. Alright, now let me put them all together by going to here, dragging over all of them, and yes, you could do this. Watch out for the base plate back there. This is fully fine. And group is a model. Now as you can see, it's a model, and now I will name it. I will name it, Gray Man. And now, before we get into anything, I would like you to name everything separately. Now, the complicated the model gets, I know it is very time consuming, especially if custom clothes, parts, unions, and just a complicated model unlike mine's. It will take a while. I'm personally going to speed up this part of the video, or completely skip it at the end, depending on what I choose during editing. But let me quickly get to it. So first, we'll start with the foot. I want you to name this left space foot, or no space, your choice. I personally do a space. And then right foot. Now the reason you do that is because it's his right, his left, not mine's, because you could do yours too. It doesn't really matter. It's your choice what you want to name it. But now, to make this less complicated so you can actually see parts, I would like you to go to all these and go to properties up here. I'll widen this a little bit so you can see more. Find transparency. It is on the first one, appearance, transparency, and click backspace, and then click 1, which will make it completely invisible. As you can see, you will not see it until you hover over it, unless you're on an older version. It should show the outline, but it's not like it matters if the outline's there or not. As long as it's invisible in there, it'll work. We don't need that right now. Alright, now that that's there, we need to quickly name all the parts. To start, let's name the last union part, which is not, you can name it body if you want to, but I would name it lowercase torso, because sometimes animation is weird, and if you do capital, it'll mess with the main part, but that's why I do lowercase. But yeah, torso is there. Now, what I would like you to do is start naming. So this first part, this is for grouping purposes. At the towards the end of making the model, I'll group all the parts before I rig them. Okay, so I would like you to name this part. It should be called leg R. So leg right. Underscore. You don't have to do underscore, but I just do it to separate the leg R. 2, because it is the second leg part. It's because that's the first one right there. This part is leg 2 underscore at underscore 2. Now, this just helps to differentiate from this, because if you just said 2, it would bug. But at simply means joint. That's what I call joints. And if you go down here, you can see that this is outlined. This is the second part and is connected to the second at. There's no at connecting to the foot because the foot can simply turn up and down during animations. And then there's another at here that's not named yet. So let's quickly name all these parts. So this one would be leg 1 underscore 2, because it is the other leg. You could do either or, leg 1, leg 2, or you could do left, you could say leg L or stuff. Oh shoot, I actually made a mistake here. I meant to not do right, I meant to do leg 2 underscore 2. Sorry about that mistake. You could do either, just make sure you don't do what I did and have it say leg R underscore 2 and then leg 2 underscore at underscore 2. Might confuse you. But as long as they're not named the same thing, it should be perfectly fine. You can name them anything you want. This is just a grouping thing to make everything easier to find later. So for this one, it'd be leg 2 underscore 1 and so on. So let me quickly get this done. So with the legs, and then get to the arms, and then the torso and head. So leg 1. Also, if you're having problems with getting it to outline itself, it should be done. Let me drag over on the side to make sure they're all outlined. Okay, they're all outlined. But if you're having problems, you can also right click and go to rename and click enter to, of course, lock it in. Now with the arms, for the arms, it's kind of the same thing. It's arm 2 underscore 2. Just arm instead of leg. So arm 2 underscore at underscore 2. Because there's no joint connecting, kind of like the foot, the second arm to the hand. Arm 2, you could say right or R. It's just easier to do 1 and 2. It's better for grouping if you do R, left and R. Or left and R? I meant L and R. Hold on, I'm tweaking. Yeah, I need to lock in. But yeah. This helps find parts by which side they're on. It helps for if you don't know left and right, or if you would just prefer doing it this way. Should only be one more thing on that side of the hand, but that's probably going to be last. So this is going to be arm1 underscore at underscore 1. Now arm1 underscore at, not at, underscore 1. Rename arm1 underscore 2. So it's the same thing as what I'm doing. Just double clicking on the middle also lets you rename it. arm1 underscore at underscore 2. Now for this one I will just say, I could say arm, or I could say hand1 like this. Which is actually what I should have did with the legs at the start up here. Right foot, left foot, instead of that I should do foot, which I think it's 2, if I'm correct. Yeah, foot 2. Which also shortens text. So foot 1. Easier to find. Head. And hand 2. Alright, now that you've done that, all your parts are named. There is no double named parts. So now let's show you how to put parts together. So simply you could hold Control or Shift, your choice. Shift clicks several parts in a row though, as you can see. So Control is one precise part, so if you wanted to do it together, you should do this. Hold Shift, click on this one, and do everything in between. But for our case, we're going to hold Control and click. And look for the same one, so we're looking for leg 2. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. 5 including the foot, so we are on 4. So we're looking for our last part right here. We actually have the wrong part, as you could see. It's glowing over here. Right there. So we are missing an at. That's weird. Oh, it is outlined. It's just lying to me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, it is 4. Okay. 5 including the foot. So, there. Now for, well, all these are highlighted in the Explorer. Right click outside here and click. You could group as a folder or a model. I personally do model. And now you want to name this leg 2. And now if you click under that, it has all the pieces and is grouped properly. This helps with grouping. Now let's quickly do the other foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, foot, group as model, name leg 1. Now both these are separate. Ooh, I made a mistake. This is not meant to go in there. So let's remove this from there. Alright, sorry about that. My brother just woke up. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I did actually make a mistake. I knew I did. Okay. Where is it? I should have dragged it into him. Hopefully I did at least. If I made a mistake, that would suck. Let me move him to make sure. Yeah, it's still within. Oh, to the bottom. Okay. Simply, if you accidentally miss something, just drag it into where it's supposed to be, and it would be there. So now when I click them, fully outlined. Now let me do the arms. Now it's fully outlined. Group as a model. Rename. arm 2. And these do not conflict with these. So you can have two things named the same thing, but yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so arm 1. Okay, so the head is separate, so you would want to create a file for just the head. As you can see, I made a mistake. No, you can always undo. I meant to do this head. Alright, there we go. Simply type in head and put all accessories that are on the body in this correct part. So if there was like accessory like hands or like on the arm, I'd put that within arm 1, for example. Or if there was face like eyes, nose, ears, hair, mouth, it would go into the head, which currently there's not. So let me do the torso finally, which is a separate piece also. So now that everything is properly grouped, there is not a long page of words. As you can see. Now let's get into rigging. To start, or well, before we start, there is one more thing we have to do. So we have to create a block. Like this, about this big and this long. And click properties. I would recommend to put this one at really red. So put this over here on the body, drag it inside. This is for any model. This is not for design. You need this for the actual model to work. And then you would like to transparency 1. Now look for the part, drag it inside of, in my case, my character's name is Grayman, and put it inside of the torso area, not inside of the actual part, inside of the group of torso parts. And this is your main part. It acts as well groups. So you should have, let me check. So edit rig comes in a plugin. Let me actually show you how to get that real quick. So you're going to need that, which is what I personally use. So toolbox, look for plugins right here. Then you want to type in edit rig. Oh no, where is it? I think it's a free one that comes with Roblox. I'm hoping. If it doesn't come for free, then I will have it in the description down below. But yeah, I'll make sure to find it before this video is posted, don't worry. If it's not shown in the video at all what it is, just it'll be in the description to add as extension. But once you have it, edit rig, it'll say rig edit, select model to begin editing it. So we will select this. But one big problem is, yes, you can click on it before, but if you want to actually turn it into a character, make sure to add a humanoid. Sorry about any background noise. Let me quickly do this. But sorry about any background noise. My brother's just walking around. And like I said, it's nighttime, so I can't really like do much for background noise. So yeah, there we go. Make sure there's a humanoid within. You can change all settings in here, but we're not going to go into that really now. Now that he has it, go to edit rig, and we can close toolbox now for more room. I usually keep it like to the left a little bit. Okay. So as you can see, the main's clickable, everything's clickable. I usually do the left side, or right side, sorry, inside the Explorer to find parts. So let's start. So the first thing you'll notice is the Roblox body is still rigged, which is good. You want it to be still rigged. If it's not, that's a problem. To start, you will want to go to main. Oh, I didn't actually name this part. This part's meant to be named main, like that. It is your main part that helps with animating. So click on it. If you have your rig edit out, either go here and hold shift to click on something, or if you are going on this side, hold control and click if you're doing an explorer. So we want to go to torso, hold control, click. Now we want to go to head. The actual part, remember, not the group. The actual group is not what we're looking for, the main head. Click joint. And now if you go under main, it will show it's jointed with the head and the torso. So let me just show you what that looks like real quick. So now if I join the game, of course it will fall apart because nothing's really rigged. But these parts will stay together with the main part, as you can see. Let me quickly close the test and go back to edit rig. But now we want to click on the torso, the main one. And we want to go to all 4 first parts. So open arm 1, arm 2, leg 1, and leg 2. And I want you to find this. The arm 1 at 1 for arm 1 or left arm. And then all the first ats. Simple, so just look for at and then 1. And then click joint. So now as you can see, it's starting to make like a little endo kind of skeleton in the rig. Let's start with arm 1 real quick. So to start, we want to go to arm 1 to arm first at to arm 1. As you can see, it would look like this. 0 should always be the at off start, and the arm should be 1. Joint. Now it should look like that. It's going like that to that. That is the shoulder, as you can see. That is from the torso. Your torso should always have left hip, left shoulder, neck, right hip, and right shoulder. It doesn't have to have the Roblox and the neck, but this one I'm going to leave it on there unless it causes problems later. So now I will continue this part. So now we will want to click on arm 1 and go to at 2, joint. Okay, now we want to go back to it. It keeps moving. At 2 to arm 2. The at should always be going to the respective number. Then finally, we want to go to arm 2 to hand 1. You can weld this if you don't want the hand to be separately animatable, but if you do, in my case, I will have it separately animatable as a joint. So now it should look something like this. It should be like going in a straight line through your arm. Let's do the second arm. I will close this now so I don't get confused. Okay. At 1 to arm 1. Arm 1 to at 2. At 2 to arm 2. And finally, arm 2 to hand. It's as simple as that to get the rigging done. A lot of people actually struggle with rigging and making mistakes, and making mistakes is not good because it will break models, sadly. The reason you add the Roblox body is for the actual joints, the shoulders and stuff. That really will fix a lot of stuff. Alright, let's get to the leg now. Leg at 1 to leg 1. Then leg 1 to at 2. Then at 2 to leg 3. And then leg 2 to the foot. Let me quickly do it with the other one. Boom. 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 And finally, boom. Now that we've done that, you will see it should look something like this. Both ways. going in kind of joints. Now if I do another test, he will not fall apart at all. He shouldn't, because unless there's accessories, his main parts are fully rigged on. As you can see, there's one key issue, because when I move into this, oh, it won't move with it, and he falls over. There's one last thing we have to actually rig onto him, which is itchy. But there's one last thing we would like to rig onto him, and that is not the torso. It should be the humanoid root part should hold. Before we get into more of this, if you add any hitboxes, like if your game was going to have like you kind of hit system in like a hitbox, you would make a part in like a cylinder or an oval type shape, put it around him like this, and you would weld that, or sorry, yeah, weld, or no, joint, sorry, I can't even think properly. You would joint it to the humanoid root part, because welding it to the humanoid root part I think causes problems, and then you would make that non-collidable. But again, if you have questions in the comments, please, or question for me, put in the comments. Humanoid root part will go to the main, so to start with humanoid root part, hold control, click on the main, or if you're doing over here, shift, click joint. So now, since the humanoid root part holds all the other parts, if we start it one more time, nothing will fall apart. Unless I made a mistake and I don't even know myself, but nothing should fall apart now. And, yep, it works now. As you can see, it doesn't get separated from its own body or anything. So now that he's fully rigged, he is basically done. On rigging and modeling, that is him. Now we will go to animating, which you go to avatar, kind of like the character clip editor, and you should just be able to click on him. Now it might be weird where it is because of how his model is, but if you go, look, just move around on the model, go inside of him, come like this, and look for the blue square, click on it. And this is where a lot of issues might appear. Let me just actually add a mistake to show you what one mistake could be. So let me go into ARM1 and, or ARM2, let me copy this name and go into ARM1 and paste it. If you have anything that has the same name, like if you didn't change name anything and just had them all apart, and you went into this, it will say this. The rig contains multiple parts which share the same name. Please give unique names to all parts. There you go. That is one issue. So now, if I go here and look for that same part, here it is. I'll change the name to a unique name, of course, 1. Go back in there. It will let you animate them. It should look like this one lets you animate them. Alright. So let me show you another issue that can actually happen. So now that the main is connected to everything, let's say we actually, let's say we accidentally went to this, clicked on the torso, and jointed it straight to the head, which is actually works sometimes. It's very buggy, but let's say we did that. So now we had 2 parts connected to the head. If you go into avatar now, it will say this. The following parts are affected by multiple motor 6Ds or animation constraints. Head, head, head. That is because there is 2 things that are jointed to the head or will hold the head within them. To simply fix that, look for this. See how it says head? It needs to be connected to the main, not the torso. Find the second part that says head and simply delete. And now it will work. If you do this correctly and get to here, another issue is you should be able to, one more thing, if you did everything correctly, you should be able to add all parts to this if you click this. If you cannot do that, then that means you rigged it wrong and you have to mess with the main and stuff. Just type down below if you're having any issues with anything or instructions that you need. I'll help you fix it. Or I might make a video or simply comment the fix. But yeah, let's start. Sadly, you cannot really click out of here to click on parts, I don't think. Yeah, see, it's always be from here. But you can manually go to there and find it. And you will not be messing with these at all. Do not mess with the Roblox body. You want to mess with the custom body. So arm one, as you can see, fully movable and stuff. See? If I use this, it'll turn, and if I wanted to move part by itself, let me actually manually click off of this. Oh god. Let me close it real quick so I click off this. Okay. But yeah, you should be able to move everything separately. So here, for example, now you cannot scale or select. I don't think you could select. Oh no, you can select. You cannot scale or transform inside of here. You see, main buttons are going to be 3, 4, and 1. 1 to select them. To move them is 2, and then to turn them, which is going to be your main friend, which is going to be 4. Now, this is the reason you add the joint. If you didn't have the joint here, and you just jointed them together like this, you would not have that. So you couldn't do this. An arm turn. Like that. And now it looks natural. That looks like an elbow. See? Let me do the same with the other one. Start with the actual body joint. And go from there. Now, like I said, it is more animatable if you were to simply... Okay, it would be easier if you were to simply add more arm joints. It would make it more animatable. You could turn one more time like this. Or if I wanted to, I could turn the hands, which I'm not going to do. Turn this. Move this. Then connect the leg. This is not going to be a real animation for anything. This is just for quick testing purposes. And then, of course, the head is separately movable. Now you can move the body here, but if you made any mistakes with the body, let me show you. This shouldn't have any mistakes. Hold on, let me click on it. This shouldn't have any mistakes. Let's click. Wrong torso. Oh god. I'm just doing exactly what I said not to do. See how it can move and hold the body within it, but the main reason you don't want to have it do this separately is because yes, it can work, but when you get more complicated models, if you mess up one time with union rigging, it will not work at all. But if you have the main that's connected, you can use it while with the buggy torso. That will work fully fine, and it'll move with the head and the body without having to ever connect the torso to the head. But if you want to move it separately, of course, there you go. And let me just do something quick with the main. So left, right, forward. Oops, misclick. I meant to go here. You can always drag and drop on these parts. Back. Now, I personally use Moon Animator for animating animations, but for like run animations and stuff for my game, I use Clip Editor. And then finish off by clicking on the first one, copy, and paste. Unless it's not meant to finish off, then you click this button to toggle looping, and click space. And now I'll do the animation that was made. That is it. And if you wanted to save the animation, you would go to here, publish to Roblox. You would name it. So here we'll do Gray Man Dance. Save. And if you wanted to add it to your game, you would copy that and add it to either the code or the run animation or whatever that's within your character. So now he's fully done. He's fully animatable and workable. Now I am going to kind of just become him in-game to show you kind of how to do how to do that. let me quickly pause the video and do that to save storage. I'll be right back. Alright, I made it, so here it is. This is just a quick script. I will have it in the description down below, as you can see. So this is just from another game. I just put it in my game real quick that I made a while ago. So it just simply looks for the humanoid root part and everything. So I will name it. It has to be the same name as what it currently is. So Control C to copy, then go over it and click Control V to paste. So now, in my case, I'm just going to simply slide. It was for Naruto in another game. Oops, I said gray man. Okay. I would drag this into here and drop. Now as a part of it. As you can see, this is simply like that, and it should work. So now, hopefully, if we did everything correctly, we should be able to become the model. Let me actually drag it closer to the spawn. If it does not become it here, I will do some testing real quick off screen. Okay, it worked. See? I am now the character. There's no scripts or anything to it. As you can see, I do bounce and stuff. Let me actually show you how to fix that, so this does not happen. So first of all, you would like to go to this, go to the part, and anchor it. But do not anchor the model. If you anchor the model, you will not be able to become it. Now I see issues where you go over edges and stuff. It does that. So let me show you how to fix this, so he can simply walk up edges. So in my case, if I was doing this, I wouldn't have him inside because you don't need him inside. And I would have him like under the map or something, like on like a block. So you cannot push him out the map for the game. So let me show you. He does not need to actually be within this to work. Just has to be the same name. Oh. Okay, don't worry about anything I just said. So you could have him anywhere you want, but he has to be inside of him. This for the code. There we go. Okay. So let me show you how to fix this problem now where when you go up any edge, it does that. So you want to go into your character, your model. Let me actually drag him back here. And you would want to go to basically all the parts in the game. And you want to click on them, hold Control, click, 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 click. Do not hold Control while you're swiping or do this. Just like Control, hold Control again to click. Click on all these real quick, like all the parts, main parts, not these. And go down until you read on, this is the properties, go down until you read collisions, can collide, can touch. You want it to audio can collide, you want that. Can touch, no. Can collide, but leave can query on because that's for code. It would not be able to work with code if you turn that off, but now it cannot collide and cannot. Well, it can touch, but it can't collide. So now if we actually become the character, as you can see, when I jump, it does not do that anymore. See? And if you go up edges, it will simply go up the edge. Now, I will not be adding any scripts for animation or abilities or GUI or anything because that's not the point of the video. But I will let you have the script to this little morph thing so it can make your life a little bit easier inside of the thing. But now that I did that, let me quickly do one last thing. So I have, let me close all this. I have a Naruto model inside of the replicated storage. I just, for my other game, of course, drop him into the workspace and then drag him over. This is actually from my current game I'm making. This is the model. As you can see, it's a lot more detailed. All this is closed, separately rigged, and everything. And that's for his Rasengan simple weld that I added. There's also they're invisible right now, but the actual raw Sengon's under there. But as you can see, everything's here just like the thing. See, collision for him getting hit and everything. And ability assets, clone counter, all this stuff. Raw Sengon, shadow clone push, abilities for him for my game. And as you can see, when I go under here, let me go to the head and just show you how many stuff is actually welded and jointed to the head. See? These are what welds look like, and that's joints. That's like face stuff. Let me go to what's going to have the most stuff actually. The torso. The main torso. See? This is all just his clothes pieces. I had to do this all manually and stuff. But as I said, I had to name all this and then group it up. This took about 2 to 1.5 hours just to name everything. It gets boring to name it, but once you get past the naming, it's really nice. As you can see, he's fully animatable too. Unless I made a mistake on the model, of course. See? Hold up, get this out. And then click on his main. Yeah. Okay. Fully animatable. Yeah, not too crazy. But one problem that you will most likely run into is floating. Now, do not panic. Let me quickly duplicate the spawn thing so I could show you what I'm talking about. So we will do this. We want to duplicate this, drag it over, delete secondary gray man. And we want to drag Naruto into this. Rename this to Naruto so I can quickly show you. And then close Naruto and go into the script and simply change the name. Naruto. And colors don't really matter. If I become him, he should be floating. Yeah, he's floating, as you can see. But he fully works normally. Now in my game, he's not floating, of course. This is just his model, how he works. To fix this, you will, because this model turned out fine without changing anything, luckily. But I will show you a model like Naruto, which does have this issue, to show you how to fix it. So let's go to my Naruto model, go to humanoid, which here's the animator, but I don't need it since this game doesn't have any animations in it. You want to swipe down in properties until you get to hip height. Where is it? It's actually must have passed it. Hip height. Okay. So in our case, since he is off the ground, if your model's in the ground, you would do adding numbers, but I'm going to do negative. Let's do 0.7, which is actually what his current hip height is in the normal game. So it should fix it right here. So it makes his hip height lower. See? Now he's on the floor fully because his hip height is lower than what his model is. So you don't have to change his model at all. See? Now he works. Besides adding animations, of course, abilities and stuff like that, you can actually become the character and jump around. But let me show you if I just didn't already know what the correct numbers were. Let's say negative 0.3. And we went into it. He's still floating off the floor, but just not as much. Negative goes down, and then plus goes up. So let's do something crazy. Let's do 50. So this adds 50, I think, studs to him. So now he's flying. See? When I jump, he gets pulled down because he's not meant to be this tall in hip height. But yeah, that's that. Now let me do, of course, negative 50 to show you what it looks like when he's in the floor. Now I might actually just fall into the map and get clipped here. See? Yeah, it's buggy because I'm in the floor currently. But if you get it correct, which in my opinion, this model is 0.6. You can also do 65 or like just go into milliseconds, like very small numbers of differences to get it perfect. But once you get it perfect, oops, wrong number. God. I'm not locked in. Negative 0.7, which is what his model needs, which is how far he's floating off the floor. Just do trial and error, and he'll be perfectly on the floor, and I can change to Gray Man, and his model will work just like my current Naruto model, perfectly fine, with animations that perfectly work. So that is the video. Nothing too crazy. These are just other things I've saved, TD models, stuff like that. You could also, if you wanted to not make your own model and use outcome memory models, which I don't recommend. I recommend to keep your game unique and create, but if you wanted to start somewhere just to learn how to rig or stuff, you can type in outcome memories and get a solid Sonic rig, which is just this. It's just Sonic. And if you click into him, he doesn't really have anything. A bunch of stuff are named. You have to change up a lot of his name stuff, but if you just want practice for whatever, keep his package. That's for like his textures. So you would click humanoid. You name him Sonic. But if you tried to click on him, as you can see, he has no rig because he's fully unrigged. The only thing that are rigged are simple welds that I don't actually know what go to, but yeah. But his arm is one solid piece and his leg is one solid piece, so I do not recommend this model. But if you just wanted to learn how to rig, not animate, then there you go. You can use him. But it's just as simple as that. All this stuff is free on the creator page, so don't report me or something saying I'm a hacker for getting these models or something, or an exploiter. But yes, if I actually started the game without rigging, again, it would just make the model fall apart. Rest in peace, Sonic. But my model will still work, and then Gray Man will still work. Okay, that is the end of the video. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I will be reading it very frequently, and I plan to make more videos. So, if you need any questions, it does not have to also revolve around Roblox Studio. If it could just be settings or anything on Roblox or anything. Just ask down below, and I'll figure out what your issue is. See you guys in the next video. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys. Bye.